Alright, so in this video we're checking out the THRUNITE TI, and this is a very small, pocketable keychain EDC flashlight, very capable and 650 lumens of brightness, and I got two of them here. We've got the gunmetal gray color here on the left, and then you got just black anodized color here on the right, and the only difference is that other than the color is got this 704 branding on there on the top. Otherwise they're basically the same, and they are basically the same price. Right now they're on Amazon for $16.99, which is an incredible deal considering what you get for the money. And just for comparison, I've been rocking this Olight Keychain flashlight. This is the I1R2 Pro. This has been out for a couple of years now, and just, obviously goes on your keychain. This is one I carry with me whenever I go and travel. Just have a nice little flashlight, but this is only 180 lumens max, and it's $25 for this one. So this one is now going to be my new go-to when I travel. I'm going to probably put this one somewhere else to use, maybe as a backup, but now I've got one for my car and one for travel. And what you get in the box here, not a whole lot. You get the flashlight, of course, itself. We will take a close look at that. We get a USB-C cable for charging, pretty standard. A little keychain ring here that you can add onto the end of the flashlight, and then you get a spare USB port cover because that will maintain the waterproof rating. And you get this manual, and you can pause the video. I'm not going to read over everything here. But yeah, it's like 661 aluminum, pretty standard, and anodized, of course. There are the dimensions, and the weight's quite light. There's a number of different modes here. So you get your Firefly, which is even lower than your typical Moonlight mode, which is going to be, usually Moonlight mode is like 1 lumen. Firefly here is 0.2 lumens, so very low, but it'll last 51 hours on a tiny, I think inside there's a 350 milliamp hour battery. So you have that mode. Well, I'll demonstrate all this here in a second. Get your low light mode, 30 lumens, 9.5 hours. The medium, 200 lumens, and that already exceeds the Olight at 2 hours and 20 minutes. And then you have your high mode at 650 lumens and 1 hour and 35 minutes of runtime, which is pretty amazing for that tiny battery. Beam reach 105 meters max. Has a drop rating of 1.5 meters, and it's IPX6 waterproof rated. All right, taking a closer look at the flashlight itself. So you can see how it is shaped. It's got some flat edges here, kind of beveled, pretty nice. Not quite as fat as the Olight here. So the Olight's a bit fatter, and in terms of diameter, but this probably makes this a little bit easier to hold. And the Olight is a little bit shorter overall. Get a little bit more battery capacity in this one. In the tail end here, you have this little hole where you can put that key ring and then attach it to your keychain. The tail is magnetized, so this can stick to anything metal, and it's so light that it will just, basically, if you want to point at something but you want it to be held on magnetically, you can do that. Got a two-way clip here, so you can use it both ways, on a pocket or on a hat if you want to use it as a hat light. And then this clip is removable as well. You do have to pull pretty hard to pull this out, but it does come off. There's your LED element and reflector there, and you get single button operation for this. So if you just short press it, you get the maximum brightness, go straight to turbo, quite bright. To turn it on, you're going to double press the button, 1, 2, and then you're going to short press. They'll go into the different modes. So you can see here, this is that Firefly mode, very dim. And then you short press the button again to go to the next level. That is going to be low. There's medium. And there's high. Very, very bright and actually quite warm. My hand's getting pretty warm there. And then we'll go back down to the Firefly. We'll set it to the low here. This is probably going to be what you want to use the most of the time. So when it's on, you're going to long press the button to turn it off. And it does have a memory function, so you can double press it. And then it'll go back to the last setting that you had, and it'll turn it off. And again, if you just short press the button, or if you just press and hold the button, it'll just go straight into turbo mode. So you can always go into turbo mode no matter what. Though the button doesn't really press down that easily. I suppose if it's in a pocket or something, you might press it inadvertently and it will activate the lights, something to be aware of. There's a strobe mode if you triple press the button. So for those of you that are sensitive to flashing lights, you may want to skip over this part of the video. I'm going to press the button 3 times and initiate the strobe mode. 1, 2, 3. And you get your strobe mode at 650 lumens there. So very bright. Okay, so that's a demonstration of all the modes. Go ahead, I'm going to take it to the garage somewhere dark and see how bright the levels are. I think for most people, the medium and high is probably going to be the most useful for this. The Firefly mode, I think, is going to be for maybe like if you're camping and you maybe want to do some reading in very, very dim conditions. Let me see if I can demonstrate that. Okay, so I turned all the lights off in the room, so you can see the flashlight here. It's in the Firefly mode, and you can kind of see the camera is able to pick this up. So if you need to do some reading in super dark conditions, you can see, as I pointed at the manual here, it does have that sort of really bright hotspot in the middle, but you can see the camera here is able to pick up, and you can pretty easily read everything here, even on the 0.2 lumens. So if you're looking for this kind of, like, this is a very like an emergency flashlight, and you need to read something in complete darkness, this looks like it'll do the job, and it lasts a very long time. As you can see here, the 0.2 lumens level will last 51 hours. And I'm trying to get this to focus on the camera. The camera does not focus very well when it's really dark, but you can see that this flashlight does work at that super low lumen level. All right, back in the garage, and under normal lighting here, so what it looks like. We're going to do a little exploring with this tiny flashlight. We're going to turn the lights off, and we're totally dark. There's a couple of these green lights here from these, they're like receivers for these other lights I have in the garage, but go ahead and turn on the THRUNITE here, the T1 or TI. So this is that 0.2 lumens. It does have an effect. You can see clearly there's a car here in front, and it doesn't light up this darker car, the red one, as much. You can see that it's light up a little bit, but it's only 0.2 lumens. You can kind of make out stuff here. There's some bikes. So let's go on to the next level. Now we're talking. This is 30 lumens. This is a low level. So in a small space, this is probably going to be plenty. And you get that a much longer runtime on 30 lumens. I think this is more than adequate, especially if you're looking at stuff that's close. There's a bunch of shoes, cars, and then a bunch of canned foods. And you can see it's, when you're shining light directly on it, it's almost overblown in the camera. It's almost too bright, even on a low level. So pretty impressive for this little tiny flashlight. Let's go to the next one. Whoa, it's getting way overblown in the camera. 200 lumens here. And you see all the junk I've got in my garage. Here's a couple of e-bikes. And a bunch of stuff here on the shelves. You can clearly see everything, even on 200 lumens. So 650 lumens, do you really need it? Let's go to 650 lumens. One more. Wow. Significantly bright. Now it has much further reach, of course, if you want to hit some parts that are further away. Now you're able to see it at this brightness level. So we'll go back down, and again, as the 0.2 lumens, you can only pretty much see stuff that's right in front of you. And again, further away, 30, and 200, and then 650. So you can see quite a lot of detail, even far away. pretty impressive for this little flashlight. So this is going to be good. Obviously keep it in your pocket, keychain, very, very handy. I might pick up a couple more of these, actually put them around the house because I need flashlights every once in a while, and a little tiny one like this is good to have. Yeah, so going back to the moonlight level here again, you can kind of see stuff far away in the walls, but it's very dim. And then we go to the next level, 30, and then 200, and then 650 again. Anyway, I think that's the cover for the this video on the THRUNITE TI. There'll be a link in the description if you want to check it out. Very cool little pocket keychain flashlight, and much brighter than expected for the size. So again, link will be in the description. Questions, comments, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.